Do you remember when an afternoon felt like forever? Not because time actually moved slower, but because you weren't trying to get anywhere. You'd wake up, eat breakfast, walk outside, and somehow, without making a single plan, the entire day would disappear. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but somewhere along the way, life stopped feeling like something I experienced and started feeling like something I had to manage. When you're a kid, you don't wake up wondering if you're falling behind. You don't compare your timeline to someone else's. You don't think about retirement or productivity or whether you're making enough money. You just exist. You wake up wondering one thing: what sounds fun today? And somehow, that question was enough. I used to think becoming an adult meant becoming responsible. And in a lot of ways, it does. Bills need to be paid, people depend on you, life gets more complicated. But I don't think responsibility is what changed us. I think somewhere along the way, we quietly convinced ourselves that everything had to have a purpose. When we were kids, we'd spend hours building something in Minecraft, only to delete it the next day. We'd throw a football until the sun went down, ride our bikes with no destination, skip rocks across the lake, rewatch the same movie for the 15th time. None of it accomplished anything, and somehow none of it felt like wasted time. Now think about the last time you had a completely free afternoon. What was the first thought that crossed your mind? For me, it usually sounds something like this: I should probably get something done. Not, what would I enjoy? What needs to be finished? It's almost automatic now. Even rest starts feeling like something you have to earn. And that's the part I find strange. Because somewhere, without anyone telling us, we started feeling guilty for simply enjoying ourselves. You sit down to play a game. After 20 minutes, you feel like you should answer emails. You watch a movie and suddenly you're thinking about everything you haven't done. Read a book and somehow feels less productive than reading something that's supposed to improve you. Think about that. Photography becomes a side hustle. Drawing becomes a business. Cooking becomes content. Going to the gym becomes a brand. Reading becomes self-improvement. Even relaxing started feeling like something we should optimize. When did that happen? When did we stop letting things exist simply because they made us happy? I don't think this happened all at once. Nobody wakes up one morning and decides, I'm never gonna play again. It just happens quietly. One responsibility at a time. One expectation at a time. One calendar notification at a time. Until eventually, your entire day feels scheduled. And somewhere underneath all those responsibilities, the curious kid who used to wander around the neighborhood is still there. He's just been waiting for permission to come back out. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if our younger selves saw what we're doing now. Not our jobs, not our bank accounts, not our resumes, just how we spend an ordinary Saturday. Would they recognize us? Or would they ask, why are you in such a hurry? The older I get, the more I realize that some of my favorite memories weren't important at all. They weren't birthdays or vacations or graduations. They were just random afternoons that no one thought to take a picture of. Playing outside until the streetlights came on, laughing so hard your stomach hurt over something you can't remember now. Sitting on the floor with your friends doing absolutely nothing, and somehow having the best day ever. At the time, they felt ordinary. Looking back, they feel priceless. Maybe that's because joy has never really needed a reason. We just started asking it for one. We started treating happiness like it had to justify its existence. If it wasn't productive, profitable, or moving us towards some future version of ourselves, it somehow became less valuable. But what if that's backwards? What if some of the most meaningful moments in our lives are meaningful precisely because they weren't trying to become anything else? I don't think growing up means becoming serious all the time. I think growing up means learning when seriousness is necessary without letting it become your personality. Because the truth is, life will always give you another responsibility, another deadline, another reason to stay busy. But it won't remind you to build that Lego set, to go throw the football, just to play one more game, to call your friend just because, to spend an afternoon doing something that will never appear on your resume and will never make you $1. To make time for things that don't need a reason. To remember that not every hour has to be optimized for it to be well spent. So when did everything become so serious? I don't know. Maybe it happened so slowly that none of us noticed. But maybe it doesn't have to stay that way. Maybe sometime this week, do something your younger self would have loved to do. Not because it's productive, not because it'll make you any money, not because it'll help you get ahead, just because somewhere underneath all of those responsibilities, there's still a part of you that's been waiting to hear one simple question again. What sounds fun today? And maybe it's time we started answering it.